I guess this is just kind of a tour of my welding tools. This is the bag that I take to class every day. I feel like I might be missing one from here. Actually, I didn't take it to class every day. It was with me at class. It's like a 9-month course. It's usually more organized than this. And some of the tools I added on as I went through class. But, yeah, this is what I used. These I took but I never used. They were MIG welding flux core contact tips. File. More files. More files. Garage is terribly rusty. Not rusty, wet. My level. My everyday use pliers. Almost all the stuff in here was new or either very new condition before I started class. Of course, my needle nose pliers. My second wire brush that I've gone through. A couple more little wire brushes. Brass bristle brush. Nylon bristle brush. A busted brush. Leatherman without the case. I did have the case with it. A variety of chisels which were not actually rusted. Until I brought everything back to the garage. This is, well over, not well over, $500 plus of tools. Most of it is Harbor Freight. Some of it I got from home. I had sharpened those all up for test day. This is a scribe I made of a piece of file. My Welpers. These are not my original Welpers. My original Welpers died. I chopped them up. You might ask why. I was working on a sort of multi-tool prototype and I needed some Welpers. I just got a couple more pairs from Harbor Freight. Made a tiny little chipping hammer out of non-hardened steel. Just messed around with it in class. A very terrible clamp. Another clamp. Another clamp. My wrench. Wire cutters. Another clamp. Another clamp. My chipping hammer. Oh yeah, my grinder. This was the third grinder I went through in class. First one was Chicago Electric. Then an old Black & Decker from like the mid-1980s. That's my grandpa's. And then finally Makita. Does not have a deadman switch on it though. Wrench. Another clamp. Pipe clamp. Linesman pliers. Another clamp. Another clamp. My grinder wrench. Channel lock pliers. Allen wrench keys. Some WD-40. Put that on that. Wire strippers. Some mini bolt cutters. Another clamp. This is my striker. I had a single flint striker too, but I chopped that up for part of my multi-tool experiment. Another Allen key. My knife, box knife. Some face wipes. Electrical tape. Grip tape. A big wrench. Now this was brand new whenever I brought it into class, like all the other tools. There's my big metal chisel. One of my cheater magnets. Another one. Tape measure. A mini sledge. My bigger 4-pound mini sledge. I think that was what was this again? This was, yeah, that's 4-pound. I think that was a 3-pound, maybe. Mini vise, which I kind of messed up by accident trying to fix the threads with weld. Another chisel. Mini screwdriver. Some loose ear plugs. Glove clamp. Glove holder. My ball peen hammer. Square. Another clamp. Another clamp. Slide square. Star hex keys, whatever. I just recently added this. Yeah, on loaded spring thingy. Big chisel. Paint marker. Metal pen. Extendable magnet. Scribe that I made. Permanent marker. Where's my flashlight? A twist top flashlight with big bar LEDs on all 3 sides. You twist it once, one side comes on, twice, 2 sides, all 3 sides. I used that a lot. It's pretty beat up. I don't know where that is. I think I left it inside after I got fresh batteries. Flashlight is dead. Other flashlight is dead. Mini screwdriver. Oh, wait, this one's actually still in use. My little ruler. I used this a lot. Camillus knife. Loose ear plug. WD-40 tube. Soapstone dispenser. Soapstone. And what we used was, we had a surplus of, well, I'd say surplus, and we had a lot of this cheap, low-quality Chinese soapstone we used up. Another soapstone dispenser. I did not like the round ones. They didn't clamp very well. Another clamp. This is my go-to clamp all the time. This is auto-adjusting snap clamp. But the thing is, I don't know if this piece of weld stuck in there somewhere. It no longer, say if I try to grip on something, it no longer starts clamping down. It sticks. I don't know what was wrong with it. Big Phillips head screwdriver. Sharpening whetstone. Flathead screwdriver. Wire stripper cutter combo thingy. Cable cutters. An assortment of socket wrenches. My student ID card, which I will not be showing. My slide converter of probably a couple hundred different little tiny increments. Brass for balling up the tip of your tungsten whenever you're doing aluminum. A little brass protractor, I used that. A couple grinder flange thingies for my old grinders. Write in the Rain notebook. A variety of punches. Some little picks. One of these, I think it was this one. Maybe one of these was straight at one point. Sort of bent up. This was my grandpa's torch tip cleaners. I used those. And that's all I had in my bag. Which when I say all, oh yeah, one more addition I had at class was Thor, or at least so people nicknamed it Thor at class. So that's what I called it. Wrote it on the handle. It was a cut-off 8-pound sledgehammer, and it did see use. The more equipment I have that I had in class was, I had what brand was this? My where is it? Hobart jacket. Had your run-of-the-mill green black stallion jacket. That's a hole in the sleeve now. My speed glass, I didn't actually use that in class. I ordered it in the mail and it came later. I don't think I used that in class. I don't think I ever used any of that in class. I did try the old torch goggles once. This was a clock that hung in my booth every day, the whole time I was in class. This was an olive drab military surplus baseball cap I wore all the time as my welding cap. This was my helmet. I still use a lot. There's some other odds and ends I had in class. This is my clamp, my vise, bench vise. I used this a lot at class. Some other random odds and ends. I used this to pin my vise to the desk because we had open top desks, like a metal mesh. I made this. This was my very first thing I ever welded. It was some cut off pieces of a C-channel or C-tubing or something. And I welded it together in like the second day. Just because I could. Pressure vessel that I didn't test yet. I used this some at class. Mini grinder. For TIG welding. I had this on my work desk. Class. Made that for my tools. A bunch of extra earplugs that we had an earplug dispenser at teacher's desk. Instructor's desk. I kept sticking it in my pockets and forget it's there. This was a piece of scrap metal that if I had a bunged up 70-18, 60-10, what have you, that I just need to get a strike on, burn some of the garbage off the end, I would use this. This was originally a piece of scrap metal, came from the scrap yard, and this became my go-to piece for messing around on. Class. There's a sheath of Leatherman. My leather jacket, I wore this a lot in class too. As I spread it out on the floor. Filthy as you expect to. Whenever it was no longer winter and came to the summer months of class, I switched to a lighter jacket. That was on a grinder repeatedly spattering into it, made the leather hard and wrinkled up. I never got burned with it on though. I did with the other ones. Non-tool equipment. All the wheels in here were added later. Glove. Get a light on in here. Nope. Okay, this light. Doesn't really rod talk or tool talk. Another glove. I go with that. I think those I added in my bag later after class. That was one of Dad's gloves he gave me. The other one's in here somewhere. Here it is. I wore those things out. Fingers all have holes in them. Same with this pair he gave me. Fingers are full of holes. I went through several pairs of cheap Harbor Freight gloves. My first pair of TIG gloves, that was another pair around here I got for my birthday. These are nicely used. More cut-off wheels. Again, these were just added later. This was towards the end of class. I got this pair of gloves and this pair of gloves. My TIG sleeves. There's one. Here's the other. A bunch of basic leather gloves I got. I never actually really used much. Little grinder wheels. Pair of goggles. I used those some. More cut-off wheels. I think this was the wheel that originally came with my Chicago electric grinder. I still have it. It's worn down to nothing now. Cup wheel. Here, you back there, sheet. Yeah, that was one of my spare clamps I never used. Second pair of goggles. Looks like those were more heavily used. Plenty spattered up. That's on the inside. I must have had them flipped over somewhere and welded over top of them. These I used some. This was a spare chipping hammer I was given after class. My apron. I used this. Oh, stitching's tearing. Leather welding apron a fair amount. Except this neck strap burned through. Supposed to connect there. So eventually I stopped using that. It's from the old Black & Decker grinder. I think that was Chicago Electric. More of those. I did use these basic leather gloves. Not very heat proof, but they did the job. Now this, a couple pairs of these. Actually, one pair of it. I had a big hole in the finger here. I had it wrapped in grip tape, and whenever that burned, it smelled like rancid oranges and airplane glue, so you can't really weld with grip tape around your finger. Masking tape. I'd use that to wrap around the cuffs of my gloves, because whenever I reached up to weld over my head, I would have sparks go down my sleeves sometimes. Just the way I did it. I'm not sure what this is, honestly. I think it went to my old 80s grinder. That was my grandpa's. Spare clamp. Spare flints. Lots of spare lenses. There's my new TIG gloves. More masking tape. More masking tape. Lens. Grinder wrench. Garbage. One of my original pairs of Harbor Freight gloves that split out the thumbs. One pair just chopped up for the dog. I think these were from two different pairs, left and right. Weld rod bag. I found a 7018 Excalibur in my apron the other day. That was what we used. Those are good rods, but like it was a stub. Spare wheels for my mini grinder. Little grinder tightening thing. Wheels. Instructor got us all some of these. These are like shade 5 glasses, safety glasses. You can use them when using the plasma cutter, like CNC plasma. I prefer to use a grind mode in my helmet though. Another glove, another handle. I believe that is it. Wait, what's this? Oh yeah. We did some TIG welding with mirrors, where you can't see what you're doing except by the mirror. You reach around your workpiece, and by the mirror in the back you watch what you're doing. That's like Boilermaker stuff, which if you master that, you can do really good, some really good wages out of that. TIG welding is a strong point, but oh yeah, these were I think these were maybe from class? I don't know. No, I don't think they were. These can cut something else. This was the wheel that was on the old Black & Decker grinder. Well, if I'm just doing stuff from class, we each got one of these that needs cleaned up. I should mount it in my bedroom. 7018, the money makers. Cut that out in the CNC machine. Did some brazing. That's my favorite class. This is just scrap metal I brought back. Some bend testing plates. I think I marked them. This was a fail, obviously. I think that was I can't read it. Permanent markers and fuzzed over. 3G, vertical up. This was the doohickey I had on my desk. I had to bang it off, and it got all bent up in the process of breaking it off at the end of the year. Your MIG gun would go through here. I held rods in the back here. Made that. This was pretty sure it was probably a 4G. I think all my 4Gs passed. I have a number of these in here. Got like 1, 2, 3. Man, wow. I forgot I had this many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got like 9 or so of those. It's clean up this mess I made over here and just wrap it up then.